One thing that is always cited as a success story is the ozone layer. It's basically a layer of gas. It reflects a lot of the radiation that comes from the sun. A lot of UV radiation is reflected from that. UV radiation is radiation. So imagine the effects of increased radiation in our day to day life. So we have skin cancer, we have issues with agriculture. There's like all kinds of issues that can come through that. Since the 70s, we used aerosols for a lot of stuff. Aerosols had a type of gas called CFCs. They bound with the ozone and then they break the ozone down. The layer that we have gets thinner and thinner and thinner. And depending on where those concentration of gases go, which for CFCs tend to go in the poles, that starts getting a hole. So in the late 80s, scientists started noticing there's a hole in that layer and that hole was expanding. Countries got together pretty quickly and they banned the use of CFCs and the ozone layer recovered. This is a great example of collaboration very quickly. Everybody got together and solved the issue. What is the difference between what happened with the ozone layer and climate change? I think it boils down to two things. One is there was a viable and scalable alternative to CFCs. At that point in history, we already had an alternative that could easily be substituted. And the other part of it is the scale to which our society relies on CFCs is significantly smaller than fossil fuel. So our whole economy, our whole socioeconomic system is based on fossil fuel. Burning fossil fuels was what made possible the Industrial Revolution. We also learned a lot from that we can apply today. And one thing is we need to have economic incentives. So there wasn't economic incentives for industries at that time moving away from CFCs because people stopped buying CFCs. If there is a time in the world the government should be subsidizing something, it's subsidizing clean energy and the energy transition. Another thing that we learned from that is really cooperation. We have to do it together. If India cuts all their emissions today, it won't matter. China is the main emitter today. If China cuts all of their emissions today, very little will change. Climate change is like a tanker ship. When ships are coming to port, they actually cut the engine several days before they're porting, and they will continue moving just because they're so heavy. So climate change is the same. In fact, when we think about 1.5 increase, 3 degrees increase, those are based on the assumption that we are either cutting or reducing this today.